And look, I'm here for you. I'm here because I'm curious about what's in your head. When I was your age, I did not have half of these things in my head. Just wasn't thinking about them. Didn't think they were important. Didn't think they were important. I knew some of them were important, but I didn't really have enough courage to apply it. So that would be like another challenge I'd have for you guys today. Have the courage to not only understand that these things are important, because a lot of this stuff is not rocket science, what I'm saying, but have the courage to start to apply these things on a daily basis, right? Take it to just one step further with your confidence, your focus, ability to handle failure, mental toughness, having that vision and that why. Yeah? Spread it to a team? So that everyone else is doing the same thing? I think that's a great question. Are you not to be would you consider yourself a leader of the team? Maybe because there's vocal leaders and leaders that aren't real vocal either as well. But, okay. I think it's a great question. I think the communication is the number one thing in culture as well, because they go hand in hand, that every championship team has, and it's on a daily basis. For example, Kansas City Chiefs that won the last 2 Super Bowls. You could use any team in your sport that you watch, your favorite sport. Think about whoever won the championship over this last year. What do we always hear? What do we always hear is at least this is in my opinion, what do we hear is going on? Why is it that these teams, one team that comes to mind as well, Golden State Warriors. Who's a basketball fan? Right? So Golden State Warriors, when they went on that run with everyone, it wasn't just one guy, but the culture that is created, the culture through the communication on a daily basis of what are we talking about in the locker room? What are we talking about in practice? How do we adjust from things that happen in practice, and how do we handle that? Because that's huge. If, for example, you guys are having a hard time evaluating yourself and your failures in practice, and having a hard time even just from a communication standpoint of we'll use it in football. I'm the middle linebacker. I'm in charge of the defense, or I'm the quarterback. I'm in charge of the offense. When it hits the fan and stuff goes wrong, are you able to pull the group together and just be able to talk about it? And in my opinion, the best leaders are the ones that have a voice but are not talking at people. They talk with people, as a team, as a group, right? They ask questions, right? Start asking more questions to each other. If you're looking for an answer, you'll find the answer by asking questions. And if you want to get the answer from somebody, you don't tell them what the answer is. You get the answer from them by asking the question that would then be the answer you're looking for. And so if you're thinking about whatever that answer might be, what would the question be to get that answer? But there's no doubt about it, to answer your question as well, you all got to be on the same page. And from what I found too, the teams with just the best chemistry where everyone is really friends. And I'm not saying everybody's got to be best friends. That's not going to be the case. But everybody's on the same page, right? The communication is it's healthy. It's a healthy environment. I think that's huge. Are you addressing it though? Are these things being addressed? Because if they're not being addressed, they're not going to get any better, right? If my team is lacking in, a team scores a touchdown on our defense, and every time that happens, I got 3 guys who are just walking with their heads off, already taking their helmet off, getting a penalty, fighting with each other, blaming other people, right? That's a huge one. I see it on TV all the time. Safety pointing at a cornerback pointing at the safety, he's pointing at the middle linebacker. You had him, no, you did, you did. Being accountable. And being accountable for somebody else, even when you know it might have been their fault, but have enough courage and guts and leadership to step up and own up to it and say, hey, maybe I could have been a little bit better too to help you out with that. Being there for each other, that's everything, right? Because at the end of the day, when you look somebody in the eye and they look you in the eye with your teammate, you guys know deep down or not whether you got that person's back or not, right? You know whether you got their back or not. You know whether you'd really be for them when they need you or not. I don't encourage fighting, but if somebody got in a fight at a bar, are you going to have that person's back or not? Right? If somebody gets into a jam where the car breaks down, are you going to have that person's back or not if you're driving behind them? Right? Like deep down, there's just so many things in life that have to do with, I mean, you guys especially you guys all pretty much, you live in one environment. You see each other so many hours of the day. The communication is, you guys are talking about everything, but are you talking about the things that matter? So that would be like a challenge I'd have for any team. Start addressing just one thing at a time, one issue at a time. Hey, what could we be better at tomorrow? Talk about it, right? Be collaborative about it. It's not one person running the show. Be collaborative about it. And I promise, all of your coaches feel the same way about that, right? Because they understand that when they're talking to the team, so I'm a coach now too. I've coached 10 plus years, coaching baseball, coaching softball as well. But when I get the feeling that I'm talking to the group and that they're just kind of trying to pick up what I'm putting down and they don't have much input, comment, or thought or opinion about it, usually doesn't stick real well. And so I think that's a huge one.